Can Welcome to Fortune Cookies Tarot. I'm Annabelle. I'm a tarot practitioner and psychic for over 35 years, and this is Mixtape Monday. Mixtape Monday is my weekly show where I take a bunch of questions from you all in the chat and answer it in one big giant video. But that's not all. There's more. We are going to be live right after if there are any inspired questions that come out of this video, or if you didn't ask the full question in the chat. So we're going to be using the Mystical Medleys deck. It's a vintage cartoon tarot deck. Love this one, but I'm also going to bring out some big guns. We've got So my good friend Alicia Wicker has created this true crime and conspiracy deck, and we're going to be busting it out today. Every day I consult with this deck. However, I don't bring it on the channel all the time because look at that. It is big deck energy. So it's a bit hard for me to shuffle the original deck and the expansion pack, but we're going to do it today because we've got some conspiracy questions in the chats. I hope you guys had a great weekend. Hope you're ready for an awesome week. If you're up here in the Northeast, it's supposed to be getting warmer, but we're also supposed to be getting crazy storms. So let's go bananas with the weather. We are kicking it off right away, guys, with the first of my questions. So this was a question from Ophelia. She wanted to know if Trump would be impeached as a result of the Venezuela incident. I'm not sure what we're calling that, but let's pull some cards on that. As I bring up the card view, I'd like you to hit that like button. And if you're not subscribed, come on over, give it a sub. If you like good community chat, interesting news with a psychic spin on it, this is the place to be. So we're going to bring up our card view. You guys have hit the like button, and let's buckle up, buttercups. We're going to get going. So this is specifically about the Venezuela action, I believe. So I don't think this is general impeachment chatter like what we had during his first administration. So let's see. Is impeachment a viable outcome tied to Venezuela specifically? So a lot of people, they're freaking out about this. Queen of Cups. I don't think so. I think there's more people in the mix that are approving of what's going on. So I think there's a lot of information that plebeians like you and I don't have. How strong is the institutional support versus resistance in this action? Look at that. 8 of Swords. They are releasing their grip on Donald Trump's actions, and they're going to let him do what he needs to do. Political trajectory over the next 6 to 12 months. Devil in reverse. I do think that we may see some evidence that will reduce the vilifying effect that the media and some individuals have on Donald Trump. Now, I understand a lot of people don't like him. I get it. But I think that some people are going to be converted over to going, well, you know, I guess he had to do what he had to do. So are we going to see impeachment? Not necessarily. So is the political tide turning? Are people more concerned about other things? Ace of Pentacles. We got other fish to fry. And I do think that there's some excitement about financial improvement, not only for the people of Venezuela, but for people here in the United States. I know a lot of people have a lot of things to say about Donald Trump fattening up his wallet with this whole Venezuela thing and his friends' wallets. but I don't think we're going to see that. I think this is going to be a pretty fair and square deal. I think the naysayers are going to be naysaying no matter what we do. So that's what I'm looking at there. I really think that the support that Donald Trump has within the United States government right now is much, much better than it has been. And I'm speaking energetically. So I know we're going to have voices that are on the news and things like that. I know we're going to have media that is always speaking out against him, but I'm telling you, energetically, I think he's getting much more support at this time, notwithstanding Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi. All right, let's talk about some small boats. Toot toot. We're going to talk about the migrant crisis that's going on in the United Kingdom. Cheerio to my friends over there, my good chums. This one came from Maria Edwards. She was asking about other countries becoming involved in the United Kingdom's migrant crisis. So this is going to be a humanitarian question. So or it is a humanitarian question. I want to keep it that way. So will other countries become involved in addressing the United Kingdom migrant crisis? Queen of Swords, that I think is a no. I think other countries are kind of sending their trash over. I hate to say it. It's, go see the English, go see the English. So the issues that they had with France and the small boats coming over, I don't think that there's any real cultivation of love and cooperation between them. So the ongoing tension between humanitarian aid and border enforcement, we're going to see a shift in that. I mean, it's not looking like it is. I know Keir Starmer will ask a bonus question about the first cousin thing. Is there going to be any? We're still going to have a lot of conflict about this. There's that Six of Swords, Queen of Swords. I do think that some of the small boat action, if there is continued small boat action and migration to the United Kingdom, I think it's continuing to be hidden. I think we are still going to have certain things that are coming in under cover of darkness, under cover of other things. So do I think that there's possibly like a ferry system where they go out and they kind of pluck these small boats out of the water? I think quite possibly once they get into waters that are under the dominion of the United Kingdom, that they are sending some rescue boats to go out there and pluck them out so that the small boats are not, rocking up on the shore. So that way they're able to kind of hide them. I am making a prediction right here that, I'm making an observation, psychic observation, that the United Kingdom Navy is probably out there with some kind of observation sonar. They're finding the boats, are tracking them, and they're going and getting them in the middle of the night so no one sees it. I do think that there's some shady stuff going on there. And I think it's because of the lack of cooperation from other countries that are pitching these guys out. So, or these boats out, I shouldn't say these guys. So before we jump off this, before we jump out of the United Kingdom, one of the things I want to do is look at the, and I'm not quite sure how this works, but apparently Keir Starmer has denied the will of Parliament and is now more or less approving marriage between cousins, partially because of the migrant situation. It's my understanding. Please correct me if I am wrong down below and you're from the United Kingdom. Is this going to have a profound effect on the culture in the United Kingdom? There's been a push for it. It's not a good move. Oh boy. Next up, we're going to see multiple wives. that's a warning. Next up, we're going to see multiple wives is something that's going to be requested. This is the avalanche starting. The turning around of culture that we're seeing in the United Kingdom. What is our outcome from this other than the multiple marriages? We will start to see the cultural scales tipping in the United Kingdom, but we're going to see it in small pockets. So I know that there are neighborhoods that are culturally very, very different at this time in some of the metropolitan areas, but I think we're going to see more so actual communities that'll be coming up that will be very different from the culture of the traditional United Kingdom. So buckle up for that. Is that going to change in the next year, or is this just a progress that's headed in that direction? Let's see. Absolutely, this is a pivot into a different cultural direction. And I think that the wheels are already in motion. We're going to see this continuing at least for 6 months to a year. I don't see that we are able to turn this cultural shift around because most of it is being done undercover. Most of it is being done behind the scenes. Most of it is being done behind the cover of existing laws and regulations. So, do we get a hero? Do we get a hero? Not just yet. Not just yet. We don't have a hero yet to pull us out of this. So again, we're going to have to keep our eye on that election that's coming up. I just think that there's a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes, guys. But United Kingdom, your American cousins are with you. We're keeping an eye on you. We're not going to let it get too crazy over there. All right. Okay. This is a big, big question. And it was about partially the Reiners, Rob and Michelle, and their son, Nick, who dispatched them, allegedly. And this is from OSV, one of my top commenters. I'm not accusing anyone of crimes. This is about patterns, power shifts, and fear narratives. And OSV wants to know if this is part of a ritual that's going on. And she cited there's another individual, another actor, Tommy Lee Jones, who's recently lost a child. Are these related? We're going to look at that. We've got cards jumping all over the place. Let's see what's going on. Let's look at the Reiners. Is there something darker hidden behind what happened to them? You guys can't see that. Then we have that. That is the machine that makes the wheels go round. Explosive underwater, corrupt politician. So I want you guys to remember that Rob Reiner was quite active politically in his speaking in the presentation. So I do think that an example was being made and that it needed to be big. So it had to be one of the top celebrities in Hollywood. And there is something about the rights of production. I do think that there's something about the rights to some of the work that Rob Reiner had not yet completed that reverts to the studio or to some other organization. So there's works that he has like in a file sitting there, and it's not going to go to his children. It's going to go to the studio because it was still being worked on. So I do think that securing those things, and that's not, this isn't, they were dispatched because of that information. They were dispatched, and that's just kind of a bonus. So why now? Why now? Why the Reiners? Because it was explosive and it would get to everybody's ears. Why now? Imprisonment, little mind control, not necessarily MK Ultra. There's explosive again. Our tunnels. We all know about those tunnels, right? Partner and spouse, we know that. And secret society. Hiding out and retired. So who's coming up? Who is coming up? Well, we got intergalactic travel. That, when you're dispatched, you're traveling. Who is coming up? Something on a boat. Oh, and then we got that. I can't say that on YouTube. So I do think that those that make the deals with those that make the stars, I think there was a little bit of a deal going on there. And I think time was up. You got to keep in mind, when the devil went down to Georgia, he was making a deal and he was trying to get some results from it. He was trying to steal talent. And we have that. And I think a lot of the time, some of these people that get involved with that organization, they don't necessarily know what they're signing. They don't necessarily know what they're getting into. They sign the contract. They sign the agreement with the studio. And the next thing they know, they're in it. So I think possibly we're in it. Now let's look at Tommy Lee Jones. Poor Tommy Lee Jones has lost his daughter. What is going on with that? Is there anything nefarious about that? No. I think this is garden variety substance issue. I don't think it's more than that. I don't think this was part of that particular organization, but let's take from the bottom of this big deck energy and see what we get. That was her soul contract. It was time for her to walk. She was ready to get out. And that is sometimes what we do to ourselves. And I think that this was something that she did to herself. Did someone put, we're not going to find out a whole lot. I think there was something in something that she took. And I think that that's about it. That's interesting though, that card came up. Maybe we'll talk about this a little bit later. Family has asked for us to give them privacy while they grieve. And so we're going to do that at this point. So let's talk about my Otter Spirit Stack of the Week, guys. We're going to talk about my Stack of the Week. So today, what am I wearing? I'm wearing the Obsidian Mini from the Scorpio strength set. I am wearing clear quartz, my mini moonstone, my full-size amethyst, and full-size moonstone. So this stack is supporting me both as a psychic and a business owner. It's providing protection, clarity, intuition, and sustainable energy. Especially, I am using that obsidian today because I am sleepy AF, cannot quite wake up. I'm having a late start today, and I need that obsidian for some grounding, guys. So I'm going to drop a link for Otter Spirit right over there. Going to be over there someplace. I'm going to drop that, and you guys can go over there and check out Otter Spirit. You can use my code and let them know that I sent you over there. For purchases over $99, use Fortune 30. You'll get 30% off. For any other order, you can use Fortune 20 and get 20% off. I wear Otter Spirit every single day. It helps me adjust my energy level and helps me get some clarity so I can do readings for you guys. So I hope you go over there and give them a visit. Let's skip on over and talk about Harry, Meghan, Jessica Mulroney, and James Holt. So there are a lot of moving parts on the Harry, Meghan, Jessica Mulroney, and James Holt. I'm a little late on this. I want to start out with Jessica Mulroney. So last week or so, it was leaked out that Jessica is filing for divorce from her husband, and that she discovered some information about possibly her BFF, Meghan Markle, was having good times with her husband, Ben Mulroney. So let's take a look and see if that is actually really true. Let's see, kids. Temperance in reverse. Jessica Mulroney that relationship is over, both with her and Meghan. And let's see if it's over with the husband. She's out. The divorce thing is absolutely legit. But I think she's going to be very quiet about it. I don't think we're going to get any more information, any more dramatic leaks like what we have already heard. I think they're going to clamp it down. And I do think that that's a legal request from either her husband or from Jessica. I think they're trying to kind of keep this extremely private, but let's keep reading on it here on a public forum. So how does Jessica feel about Meghan Markle today? 9 of Pentacles. She's not going to say. 6 of Pentacles. Not generous at all, though. You know, there is some talk that Jessica Mulroney was a critical player in getting Meghan on the world stage. Does she have any regrets about setting Meghan up with that world? Does she have any regrets? Oh, yeah. I'm going to say, look at all these pentacles in reverse, guys. And I'm going to say that, yeah, she actually, I think, blames Meghan Markle for the disruption of her marriage. I'm going to say disruption. I think she actually blames her for it, creating some issues, probably because she did take her focus away from her family somewhat. But Justice, I think she has found some information, in fact, that has changed her opinion of Meghan Markle as a loyal friend. So that is unfortunate. Now, there was another question in here that James Holt was possibly an agent of the royal family. James Holt has left the Archwell organization, whatever it's called, Archwell Foundations, Archwell Philanthropies, whatever the name of it. But there is some speculation that he was actually an agent of the royal family dispatched to help Harry. True or not true? There's that Hierophant, guys. There's that Hierophant. What is the Hierophant, you ask? This is a seat of power. I always read this as seat of power, either the Kremlin, the White House, Parliament, royal family, Hollywood, Nashville, all of the seats of power. This is 100% a seat of power that is under the surface, and he is distributing their likes and dislikes. Is James Holtz the person that was tasked with managing and maintaining Harry a bit? I do think a bit, but I also think that he wasn't exactly true to the crown. I think he let some information kind of leak. I think he bent the rules in some circumstances. Up here, Six of Pentacles, absolutely. I do think that he is trying to create some kind of pathway for generosity for Harry so that we can do that Eight of Cups, go back to the United Kingdom and earn our place back in the royal family and get a paycheck again. I think that is what is going on here. So does James Holt work for the royal family? I think James Holt is a little bit of a mole, not 100% mole, but I think that there are conversations that are still happening with the royal family here. So interesting for Mr. Holt. By most accounts, Prince Harry is looking not better, not better. What is his primary driver right now? Is it emotional, financial, or legal? Now we're going to look for the big ones here. We are going to look for our major arcana. So we've got emotional, 10 of Swords. He's at his wit's end. Financial, Knight of Wands, desperately trying to figure out where that money is going to come from. And legal, 5 of Wands there. Legal, he's got a lot of pokers in the fire. And that Knight of Wands is like, let me get out there and try and make some money. So maybe we'll see some more speaking engagements for the beginning of the year. I think with that Knight of Wands, we might see that. Typically, our Knight of Swords would be more verbose and at some meetings and presenting, I don't know what, to real estate moguls or whomever. If we were going to look at what is the most important here, just like playing cards, minor arcana, but court, we're going with the court cards. I'm going to say that the main pressures in his world, the main focus for this week is going to be his financial stuff. So I do think that that's what's going on. Remember, he's got all of these crazy court cases going on, and there's some estimates that he's going to own, I think 50 million pounds, not dollars. I think it's going to be 50 million pounds. So I don't know if that's correct. Correct me in the chat. Correct me in the live after this. Don't forget, we are going live after this for additional questions that you guys might have. Also, tomorrow at 3:30, we are going to have one of our weekly reading rooms. These happen on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 3:30 p.m. East Coast time. You can pre-order your questions in Hipsy. All of that will be set up. You can go in there and you'll receive 15% off any of your live reading requests. So you can save a little bit of money. You can also book recorded readings, or you can get instant readings by chat, phone, and video every single day. So there's going to be a Hipsy link. I'll give you a link up there too. And we will have a great time in that reading room tomorrow. So we are going to close this up. We're going to finish up this video. And what we're going to do is in just a few minutes, we're going to be over at the live. and I will answer questions for you guys live on these topics and other pop culture topics. So I hope you're having a great start to your week. Like I said, I'm a little bit slow. I'm a little bit tired. So go gently with me. I've already had my coffee. It's just not kicking in yet. So hopefully I will speed up before the end of this video and the start of the live. So thank you so much for being here. We're going to do a lot of cool stuff this week, and we're going to be talking about the psychic crime event that we're going to do a week from Saturday. So we've got just like over a week to get ready for it. But we're going to be doing a remote view where you guys get to be the psychic. I'm going to take you through a guided meditation, and we're going to drop you off into the Brittany Murphy last night of her life. So if you like those last 24-hour true crime series, this is one where I'm going to drop you right into the scene, and you're going to go psychically remote view. If you've never done it before, don't worry. It's going to be super easy. I'm going to show you how to do it. We're going to have a great time. So we'll just hang out. We'll discuss it after, and it's going to be terrific. So that's going to be a week from this Saturday. So I just wanted to let you guys know that is going to be on the 24th, and it will be in the evening. It's going to be timed perfectly for my Australian people. UK people, I may have to do a second version for you, but it's going to be a really good time. So if you love Brittany Murphy, if you want to do a little bit of remote viewing, baby, and beginner remote viewing, I'm going to show you the way, and we're going to have some fun and then talk about this psychic crime scene. I'll give you some information at the beginning of it too. It's going to be so much fun. So we'll see in just a little bit. We're going to magically transport over to the live when this finishes, and I will see you live in just a few. Have a great few minutes.